Okay, so welcome to Commanding Your Commode. So one thing we want to figure out is, what are we going to do if we lose power? What if we lose the ability to use our well? I mean, you got to have a hand pump on your well if you lose your power. What if you don't have a hand pump? You're in trouble. But yeah, pump your own water. Make sure you get a hand pump for your well. But if you are in the city, what's going to happen there? You don't have a well. You're relying on the city system. What's that?
Government's going to take care of it.
Government will take care of it. Okay. So your situation may be different where you live. So you want to come up with a plan for your type of situation. I'll show you what we do here. On our well, we have a hand pump in case the power is out, that we can still get water. And so in our bathroom, if you're going to flush your toilet, you get one chance to flush it, and then you got to start your plan B. And so we just determined you can have 3 buckets in your bathroom. You can, for us, we maybe would set them in the bathtub because we have one. And there's going to be 1 bucket that's full of water. That's going to be your flushing bucket. So when you go, you got a bucket of water ready to pour it down your toilet to make it flush, which is perfect for our situation, having a well and what's it called again? Gravity-fed septic system or drain field. And so that's what we have here. So 1 bucket to do that. And then you have another bucket to collect gray water, like from hand washing. Your water collecting here, just put it in that bucket and you collect that up. Eventually you could use that for your one of your flushes, or else take it out and water some of your plants somewhere. And then the 3rd bucket was just for refill. So you have 3 different things. And we have supplies. Let's say you can't go buy toilet paper for real now. You can't get it. You're not allowed to buy it. Invest in some good dark colored washcloths. It's a good way to go. Dark color especially. It's a good idea. And get a bunch of them. So I got plenty. I just went to Fred Meyer at the time, had some dark colored ones, and I just bought several of them. We probably have 100 washcloths. So downstairs we have black ones, upstairs we have the blue ones. And once you use them, we have colloidal silver in this bottle. So Andrew made this, and there's a way to make that, which would be a different presentation, but you store it in a dark bottle. You have it in your bathroom. It's antibacterial. So when you use your cloth, spray it off, maybe cover it, and then in it goes. At the lid. And so this is a nice waste basket. It has a removable inner liner. And so we have one upstairs, one downstairs. And when this gets full, we dump them in the washing machine and wash it up. So we probably wash these twice a week. Wash our bathroom rigs twice a week. And that's how we manage that. So really eliminates how much toilet paper you use. And it works really well. And so this is another thing you want to think of getting. These are Pericare bottles. And we got one for each of us. There's an A. Everybody gets their own. So we put our initials on them. And so we have one upstairs, one downstairs. So if you need to clean yourself, if you have a messier episode. You can squirt yourself and then wipe yourself off. And this actually works really well. It works really well. It eliminates a lot of excess things on this. You can still spray it, put it in here. And I have to say, we've never had trouble with this ever smelling. It does not, there's no odor whatsoever. So it works really good. So that's kind of the routine on how to do that. You'd want some sort of setup too to wash your hands in the bathroom. So we just have this tiny little stool, one of these carboys, and one with a on and off little switch there, and then just whatever container you have. This size works good for us because it actually fits in the sink. So this goes to the side of the sink. This is in the sink. And then you just turn it on, wash your hands, turn it off. And then you'll have a supply here, so you don't have to refill it that often. And then dump your gray water in the bucket. You're good to go. So that's that routine. There's other things you can do. If you wanted to, you could get a handheld bidet sprayer set. So this is an option, if your toilet's in working order still, but you can't get toilet paper, this is just another option. Although it's much more expensive than these. These are super cheap. Or free. If you've been in the hospital with having a baby, you usually come home with some. So those are some options. What else? There are luggable loos available you can make. So these kind of things, just get a 5-gallon bucket. You can buy a simple lid like that. What's that? Winkle sells these? The lids. The seat lids. Okay, cool. So yeah, just attach it to your bucket, and there you go. So that's what it looks like. There it is. You can either wash this out every time you use it. If you're gonna let it sit there, it's gonna get stinky in a hurry. You could cover it like you would a compostable toilet. Get some sawdust or whatever you have. There's some sawdust here. You could get a scoop and put it in there and hope for the best.
Ashes from the wood stove. Yeah.
Or ashes from the wood stove, yeah. Use some sort of carbon, whatever you have. Takes the smell out too. Yeah, the ash, kind of like bentonite clay. And cat litter. Okay. Yep. So those are options. So any questions on this part?
So that bucket is short because we did it in our camper. And I had it on the bathroom in our camper. So that's not a 5-gallon bucket, that's a smaller one. And I put that kind of like a gamma lid, but it's like a paint lid on it, so it wouldn't maybe transport it if necessary. We have never used it, but it's ready.
Yeah.
If you're really handy and don't want to go buy something and you happen to have some old stuff lying around, you can also take a 5-gallon bucket and some long curved bolts and bolt a regular toilet seat if you want something a little more comfortable. That's what I grew up using, was a pickle barrel from Wendy's with a toilet seat bolted to the top.
Okay.
So it's possible to do a variety of things for cheap.
Yes. You can be creative for sure. Yeah.
What do you do after? Do you cure them to be what? Or where do you do it?
The bucket?
Yes, the soil.
The soiled bucket? Well, you can have this is another topic, but human manure, composting. you could try that if you want, but then you got to make sure you're eating properly if you want that to go into your garden someday.
And you don't take medications.
Yeah, medications.
Prednisone or any
Yeah,
plant medications.
right. Yeah, if you're taking medications, you don't want to compost that at all. But you can dig a hole. What do you think? Dig a hole straight down in the ground.
We used to use the luggable loo when we had a produce stand that didn't have access to a restroom, and only we would then just put it down the toilet when we came home.
Yeah,
If you have a septic system, that do that right.
but if you're not able to flush it,
Spray it inside with bleach or
you clean it well, and then you probably bury your waste somewhere. Unless you're going to try the composting thing.
Is it safe to bury them underground?
if they do it
I think so.
not near your well.
Not near your well. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what an outhouse is, generally.
Yeah. Outhouses usually have a pit dug under them. And then occasionally they have to move the outhouse to a new dug pit. I just have a short video we're going to watch, and you can see what this lady, she goes by Girl in the Woods, what she came up with here.
If you live off-grid, you probably know how difficult having water sources can be. This compost toilet system that I'm sitting on does not utilize any water and is stink-free. I want to show you how I built this compost toilet and talk about the possibility of composting your humanure. Now, this is not a new subject for me. Over 20 years ago, I discovered Joseph Jenkins and this book, The Humanure Handbook. In this book, he goes over how you can safely and simply compost your humanure. And I did, in fact, put this into practice when we lived in Alaska. We lived there for over 14 years, year-round, and 10 of those years we did not have running water. That meant we were hauling 5 gallons of water into the house at a time. So water was a precious commodity, not to be used in the toilet. I had little kids at the time, and this compost toilet worked really well for us. It enabled us to have an indoor toilet even at 60 below zero. That is definitely a plus. It's an easy system, doesn't take any water, and it's not as weird or gross as you may think.
Typical compost toilet, you can accept both solids and liquids in the bucket, but I wanted to separate them out so that my urine would divert into a soak-away pit behind my yurt.
It is smooth as a baby's bottom.
In order to do that, I bought this toilet seat with a urine diverting insert from Separate. It's got the urine diverter, but basically what that allows to happen is the urine to go outside my yurt and through a tube into a soak-away pit, which I built just for this purpose.
Okay, there we go.
To compost your material, you're going to need to build a bin, line it with a biological sponge to prevent leachate, and simply learn how to manage it with the correct techniques and the appropriate cover material. If it ever stinks, you just need more cover material.
So we've got the urine diverter and the tube. There you go. So let's jump in. I'll give you a tour of my bathroom and I'll show you how I built everything.
So here is the full tour of my off-grid bathroom. This simple setup is really all you need. Right next to the toilet, I have a bucket of cover material, and after you go, you simply cover up your deposit. Simple as that. This is my self-contained bathroom sink. All the water is in one place, and it is hands-free hand washing. This is a USB rechargeable faucet pump, and I will have a video coming out soon to show you that process.
Simple motion-activated battery lights. These actually, you just press the button down here to turn on. Those are battery operated. This is a really small space with a really large Betty White painting, but it is just enough room to do what you have to do. Toilet that actually drains the urine to the outside. I'm gonna try it out. Oh my gosh! I can get up in the middle of the night. I don't have to go to the outhouse.
To build my toilet, I was using some scrap 3/4 inch plywood that I had. And I also ripped down some 2x4s so I could have some 1xs. That would be the basis for building my box. From there, the 1xs were used as the corner supports to build the box.
Pretty tall. Seems like it's tall.
It was tall, so I cut it down 2 inches.
That's definitely more reasonable.
Next, I needed to cut the top piece.
There's the lid. And a trip.
Next, I needed to trace out the toilet seat opening, and to do that, I needed to disconnect the 2 pieces from each other. I gave myself a pilot hole with my drill and then used my jigsaw to cut it out.
Oh, that is not going to work.
Then I realized I needed to trace the bottom part of the seat opening.
Okay. All right, there we go. This is getting really dark. Let's see if this fits. Yes. Here we go. Toilet.
Here's the box it came in, and I never realized that it has a pattern for the seat right here on the box. So save yourself some problems, and you can just measure it like this if that's easier.
Next came a good sanding of the top and sides.
I used 3 different grades of sandpaper on this, so it is smooth as a baby's bottom. This was all scrap 3/4 inch plywood that I had, so this build didn't cost me anything. This insert for the toilet, I think was over $100. But if you were to buy the actual toilet itself, some of these can run over $1,000, believe it or not, for composting toilets. So it's definitely worth it to build your own. I will give you the dimensions that I use. I'll put that in the description. So if you want to build this system as well, you'll have the numbers to replicate what I've done here. I think it's a good size and very affordable, because otherwise all you need is a bucket.
It was time to seal up the wood.
Okay, she's dry. She's got 2 coats. This is what I used. I like this stuff. Water-based Helmsman, spar urethane. I like that satin.
Ooh, toilet glimmering in the light. It's very nice. Turned out good. Yeah. Oh, don't look in there. Now it's time to screw down the lid and drill a hole through my floor to install the drain tube.
Urine diverter. So about 4 inches down.
So I'm going to drill my hole right about here. I've got a hole saw. Probably got 4 or more inches of material to get through. So we'll see where it comes out, and then we'll get things attached.
All right, through the first layer. I'm into the foam insulation now. And I'm going to need to clear out my bit. There we go. Now we can keep going. Still have my pilot hole. And I'm through. There's my hole to the outdoors. There's my plugs. Now I'm going to put the tubing through, insulate it, and dig my pit. Okay, here is my hole coming out. Now what I'm going to do is feed this tube up through there. That's going to attach to the urine separating portion. I believe this is an 8-foot hose.
It was time to start digging the pit. Now I have very well draining soil here, mostly sand. I had a few roots I had to cut out, but really all in all it wasn't that bad.
Okay. We're 3 feet down to the bottom, and it's about a 2x2 hole.
Next I was layering in landscape fabric to keep the soil from infiltrating into the rock that I would lay in. Now this is pea gravel, a couple bags, and then a coarser grade of gravel on top. Next, I was tunneling out a little bit of a trench for the pipe to lay in. Now that would sit underneath the ground just a little bit coming out of the yurt. Next, I was putting insulation over the pipe. Now, maybe not necessary. It's a pretty steep drop, but just to be sure, I wanted to do it anyway.
Okay, got the
end of the tube going right into the bottom. And now I'm just gonna split this cloth so it'll go around the tube. Just gonna hold the dirt from sifting down on top of the rocks. Keep that drainage open. So now, fill the hole back up with dirt. Here's what it looks like in the hole. And going up to the top. Just pull the tape off and squeeze it together. Self-sealing, which is nice. Just using this spray foam. I'm just gonna hit right up in here and plug that crack. Now I was simply filling the hole back up and making it look like it never happened. Okay, there we go. So the toilet is all hooked up. These two components, the tube and the toilet seat, need to be disconnected but still able to work together. So I went and picked up like 3 different types of funnels to see which one is going to work best. But first I've got to cut the tubing so that I'll be able to lift up this toilet seat to actually service the bucket and to clean stuff. But I still need the tube to go down into the hole through the tube. So we're going to pick one of these funnels and make it work. So now we've got 2 separate things going on here. That is what I needed. Honestly, I think any of these would probably work. Just tape them together. I'm sure it'd be fine. All right, here's my funnel. I just attached it to the tube with some electrical tape and it kind of seated in there pretty good. Bucket in. Okay, here's the finished toilet. It's all good to go. If you lift up this lid, you can see you've got your bucket back here. I have to add the composting material yet. And the urine separator. And if you lift up the lid, there's both of them. So we've got the urine diverter and the tube and the funnel going to the tube, and it's all good to go. That is awesome.
I had Andrew, we took her dimensions and made our own. So Andrew started this just this morning. So run out of time for everything. Like, Andrew, we got to do it. Okay, so you're welcome to come up, check it out. This isn't on. We don't have the hinges. We don't have all the components ready, but you can come check it out. But this is one of those diverter seats that you can see. And how you can get in there. We don't have a bucket in here, but there's the other end of that. So something was loose in there. Not sure what that was. Oh, okay. The lid?
Yeah.
I ordered it off Amazon. And it was a kit. So it came with the seat, the toilet seat, the diverter, and cut out pattern